Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, a warm welcome to the Korean Dream Webinar Series 3, Cross Continent One Hope. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us today. I am Muhammad Rizky Darwan, your MC for today's webinar. I am so excited to have all of you here for this important event, Team Korean Reunification from Perspective of Indonesia, Philippines, and Tanzania. Today, we will engage in this insightful discussion with our esteemed speakers who will share their knowledge and experiences in promoting peace and understanding in our diverse societies. We invite you to open your heart and minds as we learn from one another and explore how we can work together to build a more peaceful world. Welcome to the General Manager of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, Cynthia Rahmi Utami. Distinguished speakers, Isman Habibillah, Communication Manager of the Global Peace Foundation Indonesia. J. Mars Javier, Program Coordinator for the One Korea Global Campaign Philippines. And the last one, Hussein Sengu, Country Director of Global Peace Foundation Tanzania. And especially for all the university partners, Korean Language and Literature Department of Universitas Indonesia, Universitas Insan Cita Indonesia, Law Faculty of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tangerang, Postgraduate of Universitas Muhammadiyah Tangerang, International Relations Department of Universitas Wahid Hashim, Community Education of Universitas Jember, Management Faculty of Universitas Widyatama, Universitas Taman Siswa Palembang, Bina Nusantara University, Bayangkara University, Sahid University, Universitas Muhammadiyah Kalimantan Timur that already support this webinar. Let us begin this journey of peace, collaborations, and empowerment. Thank you once again for being here, and let's make this webinar a memorable and impactful experience. Before we begin, let's go over a few ground rules to ensure a smooth and respectful session for everyone. The first one, give full attention to this webinar. The second one, make sure you mute your microphone when you are not talking. Keep your camera on, use raise hand, and or to chat to ask a question. And the last one, make this room a safe place to learn and share. Now we invite everyone to listen to Indonesia National Anthem, Indonesia Raya. You can sing along or simply enjoy the moment as we honor our country. Thank you everyone for that uplifting national anthem, Indonesia Raya. The next session, it is my pleasure to welcome our special guest, Cynthia Rahmi Utami, who will give the opening remarks. Cynthia Rahmi Utami, as the General Manager of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, and we are happy to have her with us today. Please join me in giving her a warm virtual welcome as she shares her thoughts.
Thank you, Mas Rizky. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace and blessings to you all. Distinguished speaker, Mr. Hussein Sengu, Country Director of GPF Tanzania, Mr. Javier, Program Coordinator for the One Korea Global Campaign Philippines, Mr. Isman Habibillah, Communication Manager of GPF Indonesia, our moderator, Ms. Sherin Angelica, Program Coordinator of GPF Indonesia, and all university partners and participants from Indonesia, the Philippines, Tanzania, and I also saw in the message from Timor-Leste and beyond. Welcome to our webinar. On behalf of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, it is my great honor to welcome all of you to the third series of our Korean Dream webinar. The theme is Korean Reunification from the perspective of Indonesia, the Philippines, and Tanzania. Today, we come together not only to discuss the division on the Korean Peninsula, but to reflect on the broader meaning of peace and reunification at a time when many regions of the world are deeply suffering from conflict and division. As we speak, the Middle East remains in turmoil, with escalating tensions between Israel and Iran and the ongoing humanitarian tragedy in Palestine. Innocent lives, especially those of children, are caught in the crossfire of geopolitics, ideology, and history. These realities serve as painful reminders that division, when left unresolved, only breeds more suffering. Whether it is in Korea, in Gaza, or in the broader region of the Middle East, the yearning for peace, justice, and dignity is universal. That is why today's conversation matters. It is about more than Korea. It is about us, about humanity, and about the kind of world we want to build together. Indonesia, the Philippines, and Tanzania each have their own stories of overcoming colonialism, internal conflict, and striving toward national unity. These experiences equip us with unique insights and a moral responsibility to contribute to peace beyond our borders. Globis Foundation believes that peace cannot and should not be left solely in the hands of government. It is also built through people-to-people connections, intercultural understanding, and shared values. And today, let's ask ourselves, how can we as global citizens contribute to reconciliation in Korea? What can we learn from each other's history to shape a more peaceful future, not just for the Korean people, but for all those caught in conflict? Let this webinar be a moment of shared learning and shared hope. Let it strengthen our empathy, sharpen our awareness, and fuel our commitment to action, whether for Korea, the Middle East, or any region longing for peace. Thank you to our speakers, university partners, volunteers, and the entire organizing team. And thank you to each one of you for choosing to be part of this global peace movement. Let us move forward together. One dream, one Korea, one world, one family under God. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you all. Back to you, Rizky.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Cynthia Rahmiutami, for your really, really warm welcome and your inspiring words. And we hope that something happened in the Middle East is we hope it will end soon, and our webinar today can make a peace resolution for the Korean Peninsula and all over the world. And your presence here today, Cynthia, adds a great value to our event, and we are grateful for your support and thank you once again. And participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator for today's discussion, Cherin Angelica, as a part of Global Peace Leadership Corps Indonesia and Program Coordinator of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia. Cherin Angelica, she is a pioneer of peace builders from Global Peace Leadership Corps, one of the GPF Indonesia's program. Cherin Angelica recently served as the partnership and sponsorship lead in GPF Indonesia Volunteers Team, where she plays a key role in organizing peace initiatives and mobilizing youth participation. Through her leadership and commitment, Cherin continues to support GPF mission by fostering collaboration, empowering young people, and promoting a culture of peace and at the grassroots level. Cherin will facilitate our sessions, guiding the discussion and engaging with our speakers and all the participants. Please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Cherin Angelica as she takes over as our moderator for the remainder of the event. The time is yours.
Thank you, Rizky, for your warm welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. I am really thrilled to have you today. My name is Sherry Angelica, or you can call me Cheche or Sherin. For the next hour, I will get the session as your moderator. Today is such a good day together and learn more about peace, Korean unification, and what we can do to contribute. Our discussion will be divided into three sessions with three different speakers from different backgrounds. We are honored to have our outstanding speaker with us. Welcome on board Isman Habibillah, Javier, and Hussein Sengu. Without further ado, let's get started and learn together along the way. Don't worry, you will have your chance to ask questions in the Q&A session, and after all the presentation, or you can put your question at the chat box. Now, for the first session, we will have Isman Habibillah. Before that, I will give you a short explanation about him. Isman Habibillah is the Communication Manager of Global Peace Foundation Indonesia. With a strong background in peace advocacy, he has led digital campaigns and communication strategies for key initiatives such as the Life Park Project and Peace Project, aimed at fostering interfaith understanding and community resilience. He regularly collaborates with local and international networks to develop inclusive narrative on peace, interfaith harmony, and social development, with a focus on digital outreach and strategic communication. Isman Habibillah will speak on the important topic of From Indonesia to Korea, people-to-people lessons in unity and reconciliation through national value. In his presentation, he will tell us about Pancasila as a foundation for national unity and reconciliation. Also, he will discuss how initiatives like Korean-Indonesian Connection or KIC foster intercultural dialogue that build peace across borders. So, please join me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Isman Habibillah as he shares his insight with us today.
Hello, Cherin. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Isman Habibillah, and today I represent Global Peace Foundation Indonesia. I'm truly honored and grateful to be part of this meaningful gathering today, joining by passionate participants from Indonesia, Timor-Leste, Tanzania, and also the Philippines. Being in this space with fellow changemakers from different parts of the world reminds me how deeply connected we are through our shared values and dreams. In this session, I will be sharing Indonesian perspective on the Korean dream, a vision of a free, united, and prosperous Korean peninsula. As a country that has gone through its own journey of independence, nation building, and promoting peace through diversity, Indonesia offers unique lessons that can inspire and strengthen the movement for reunification. I hope this perspective will contribute to a broader understanding of how different nations, especially from the global south, can play a role in supporting the peaceful reunification of Korea. Next slide, please. This year, on August 2025, Indonesia commemorates the 80th anniversary of its independence, a major milestone for us. That also coincides with a significant moment in Korean history. Uniquely, both Indonesia and Korea experienced the end of colonial rule within the same week in 1945. On August 17, Indonesia declared its independence from over 3 centuries of Dutch colonialization. Just 2 days earlier, on August 15, Korea was liberated from 35 years under Japanese occupation. Although separated by geography, both nations share a powerful historical parallel. The struggle to reclaim sovereignty, the yearning for self-determination, and the collective will of their people to shape a new national identity. These twin milestones remind us of the enduring spirit of freedom that continues to unite people across nations and generations. Next slide, please. While Indonesia managed to move forward as a sovereign and united country, realizing its vision of independence and national building, Korea's path took more difficult turn. Although both nations were freed from colonial rule in the same week of 1945, Korea was unable to fully enjoy the fruits of its liberation. Merely 3 years after being freed from Japanese occupation, the Korean peninsula became a casualty of the emerging Cold War, as global superpowers drove a dividing line in the 38th parallel. This artificial boundary separated not just territory, but also families, communities, and a shared national identity, forming 2 distinct states, North and South Korea. Unlike Indonesia, which forged ahead with national unity, Korea has remained divided for nearly 8 decades, with the scarf of conflict and ideological rivalry still happening until now its destiny to this day. Next slide, please. The consequences of its division have been heartbreaking and far-reaching. First, millions of families were torn apart, their hopes of reuniting fading as time goes on. Today, 25 million people in the North live under one of the most repressive regimes in the world, a place where basic human freedoms are denied. Entire families are set in labor camps, and children are raised to worship the ruling Kim dynasty. Beyond its border, North Korea presents a serious global security threat. Its growing arsenal of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles can now reach not only the United States, but also countries throughout Southeast Asia, including us in Indonesia. You might ask, why should the Korean Peninsula matter to Indonesia? The answer is because global security is deeply interconnected. North Korea's nuclear program heightened the risk of conflict in the Asia-Pacific, a region that is vital to global trade and stability. What happens on the Korean Peninsula affects us all, not only in Indonesia, but also in other regions. This is not just a Korean issue, it's a global issue. Next slide, please. Indonesia understands this vision deeply. Our nation was founded on Pancasila with 5 principles rooted in belief in God, humanitarianism, national unity, democracy, and the last is social justice. These values are closely aligned with Hongik Ingan. I will introduce to you guys about Hongik Ingan. Like Korea, Indonesia emerged from colonialism and built a resilient and vibrant democracy. And because Indonesia maintains diplomatic relations with both North and South Korea, it can play a unique role as a bridge and advocate for peace and unification. It is not coincident that Indonesia have both diplomatic with North and South Korea. It is an opportunity for Indonesia to take a lead for Korea reunification. Indonesia's legacy, non-alignment, and commitment to peaceful diplomacy give it moral authority on the global stage. As the world's largest Muslim majority democracy and a key leaders in ASEAN, Indonesia can play a vital role by promoting dialogue, facilitating educational exchange, and amplifying the voice of North Korean escapees, human rights advocates, and peace builders, like what we are doing in today's webinar. You and us, as the youth of Indonesia, Tanzania, Timor-Leste, and also the Philippines, can be at the forefront of this movement as ambassador for peace, freedom, and unity on the Korean Peninsula and beyond. Next slide, please. Indonesia's emotional ties with both North and South Korea run deeper than diplomacy. They live in the hearts of its people. For example, in the past, Indonesia established a symbolic friendship with North Korea through President Sukarno, who personally gave a rare orchid flower to Kim Il-sung during his visit in Pyongyang in 1965. The orchid was later named Kim Il-sungya, a gesture of respect and friendship that remains a culture symbol in North Korea to this day. And also for South Korea, in more recent years, Indonesia's connection with South Korea has flourished, especially through football and popular culture. Coach Shin Tae-yong, a South Korean national, has reinvigorated Indonesian dream of qualifying for the FIFA World Cup 2026, earning admiration and emotional support from millions of Indonesians until today. Meanwhile, the Korean wave has deeply influenced Indonesian youth. With one of the largest K-pop fanbase in the world, Indonesia ranked third globally for K-pop engagement on platforms like Twitter and also YouTube. Fandoms have become a powerful cultural bridge, inspiring solidarity, creativity, and cross-cultural appreciation. These emotional bonds rooted in history, sport, culture offer a strong foundation for Indonesian grassroots support in the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Next slide, please. The Preamble of Indonesia Amendment 1945 or UUD 1945 Constitution affirmed the nation's commitment to participate in the establishment of a world order based on freedom, lasting peace, and social justice. This foundational principle highlights Indonesia's moral and constitutional responsibility to contribute a global peace-building effort. In this context, the Korean reunification issue strongly resonates with Indonesian constitutional values. As a country that has overcome colonialism and embraced unity, Indonesia is well positioned to advocate for peaceful solution and support reconciliation on the Korean Peninsula. Next slide, please. Until now, many efforts to achieve unification have been led at the government level. But history shows that top-down approach alone are not enough. Real lasting change must be driven by the people, not only government, but me, you, and us as the people of the world. The vision of the Korean Dream must be people-led movement supported by the international community. That's why in 2017, Global Peace Foundation Indonesia launched One Korea ID, a grassroots campaign aimed at building awareness and public support for the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula from an Indonesia perspective. Recognizing the shared values between Indonesia on peace journey and the aspiration of the Korean people, GPF Indonesia mobilized young people, students, civil society actors, and digital communities to become active voice in the call for Korean unification. One Korea ID has utilized the power of social media to reach a broader audience. Through campaigns on Instagram and YouTube, the movement has collaborated with public figures to promote the message of unification in creative and relatable ways. These digital efforts not only raise awareness, but also invite public participation, making the issue more accessible and personal for Indonesian youth. Next slide, please. Our effort encompasses education, public engagement, and cultural diplomacy guided by the vision of the Korean Dream. First, we collaborate with university through the UGen seminar, like what we did today, and engaging educators for various seminars and many cultural exchange involving the Korean, not only South Korea, but also North Korean. And second, we initiate grassroots campaign in public space, such as our peace campaign during Jakarta Scarfy Day in January 2025, which attract hundreds of participants and raise public awareness about the importance of unification. We also work closely with Global Peace Youth Korea to bring North Korean defectors to Indonesia for cultural immersion and exchange. Next slide, please. We actively collaborate with universities across Indonesia to engage young minds in meaningful dialogue on global peace, especially Indonesia's role in supporting the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Thank you for the university partners from University Muhammadiyah Tangerang, Presiden University, Universitas Taman Siswa Palembang, Universitas Insan Cita Indonesia. This session explore Indonesian best practice in peace building, such as interfaith harmony, grassroots engagement, and youth leadership, and how they can contribute to international effort, including the Korean reunification movement. We welcome more partnership with universities and academic communities who share the vision of building a more peaceful and united world. Next slide, please. So, how can you be part of this movement? One powerful way is by joining the Korean Dream 10 million signature campaign, a global effort to gather 10 million signatures by August 2025. Your signature is more than a name, it's a declaration that you stand for peace, freedom, and a unified Korea. Next slide, please. Let's do it together right now. Take out your phone and scan the QR code on the screen. It only takes a minute. This is easy. First, enter your name, email, and country. After that, you can click submit, and just like that, you're part of history. So today, I invite you to join us from Indonesia, from Timor-Leste, Philippines, and also Tanzania to be part of this historical movement signed the Korean Dream 10 million signature campaign. Raise your voice, share this vision, organize event. Indonesia, Tanzania, Timor-Leste, and also Philippines, and youth unite to fulfill the unfinished dream of 1945 and create a brighter future for all. Next slide. Next slide, please. Let us realize the Korean dream. Let us create a world of peace, prosperity, and freedom. Let us become one family under God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Isman Habibillah, for your insightful presentation. Your words on the importance of Korean reunification are truly inspiring. We appreciate your commitment to promoting peace, especially the One Korea ID campaign, and also we look forward to applying these ideas to support Korean reunification. Today, thank you once again for your sharing your knowledge with us. Now, we move on to our second speaker for today, Javier, Program Coordinator for the One Korea Global Campaign Philippines. A passionate advocate for good governance, youth engagement, and peace building. He has led initiatives to strengthen civic participation and promote transparency across the Indo-Pacific. As a dynamic changemaker, he actively contributes to democratic development at local, national, and regional levels. Today, Javier will share us stories about peace building in the Philippines, local experience, and global lessons. Let's pay attention and give him a warm welcome.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
audible.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone, and uh, thank you so much for inviting me. So, before I proceed with my formal presentation, I would like to give thanks to the General Manager of the Global Peace Foundation Indonesia, Ms. Tia, for considering me to be part of this very historical event. And of course, I would also love to appreciate the participation of our other resource person for sharing your perspectives from your countries. So now, to proceed with my presentation, we are focusing from the shared history to shared futures. So since the Philippines is more in depth in terms of historical bond, this is a great opportunity for me to present to you why we are so actively promoting and mobilizing the One Korea Global campaign here in the Philippines. And again, this presentation is not only for Korea, it's actually for the global peace. And since we are in nature, a very empathic human beings, we are bound to care for other people, and that's will shape our future. Okay, so I want this to be more engaging, especially to our attendees right now. So when I said people to people, when we said people to people, why does it matter, right? Can you comment down below why does it matter? Okay, sorry. Well, thank you for your answers. If you're answering, I cannot read the comment section now, but I really do appreciate if you did. But in our perspective in the Philippines, people to people matters now because in our perspective, government build treaties, right? But people build futures. What does it mean? It means that without the actual participation of the people, we cannot actually achieve the peace that we want, not only in our own country, but also in other countries or even globally, right? Because a paper is just a piece of paper. If we are not participating to actually mobilize and pursue it and push it, there's no actually huge impact or major impact that it will provide. So that's the importance why people to people matters in our perspective. And going back to the relationship between Koreans and Filipinos, we don't have, I mean, we share more than friendship. We share responsibility because of our historical bond. And later on, I will explain to you why we are so in deep connection with Korea and here in the Philippines. And in this historical bond, the Philippines were provided the position to have a powerful voice for Korean unification. And that is why the Philippines is one of the key players in terms of contributing to this effort in mobilizing the One Dream, One Korea, One World campaign that we're pushing. Now, as mentioned earlier, there's a lot of negative things happening here in our world globally. As you can observe and heard from the news, the current happenings in Gaza and Israel, as well as in Iran, the current escalation that happened. And recently, there was a crash, Indian plane, where more than 200 people died. So there's a lot of pains. There's a lot of negative things happening around the world. And the question is, when do we act? When is the right time to react in terms of addressing these conflicts, this war, these negative things happening around the world. And our answer is now. Now is the time to act, not only for Korea, but for peace globally. And that is why we are doing this mobilization to contribute in the collective goal. Now, as mentioned earlier, the history has been mentioned earlier, and the Korean Peninsula has remained divided for over 70 years, symbolizing unresolved conflict in the modern world. Now think of it. We people, or in one human family, we from the start we are born in this world, we have relationships, right? We have mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters. Now imagine if you got separated for over 70 years. How will you feel? If you get separated from your mother for more than 70 years, how will you feel? For your with your brother, get separated with your brother and friends, relatives, how will you feel? Now this kind of pain points is very important for us as peace advocates to get motivation in order to mobilize, in order to achieve a meaningful cause, a meaningful, peaceful, a meaningful, harmonious uh, world. Because we don't want our future to have that kind of situation where people are experiencing these negative feelings of grief, of separation, and other kind of negative feelings. That is why it is important for us in the Philippines to actually mobilize and to contribute in this cause. Now, let's go back with data or with our, let's say, our root cause or our root history of solidarity. So as mentioned earlier, why we have deep connection with Korea? Because based on history, the Philippines is the first country who sent soldiers during the Korean War in 1950. Now think of it, age 18 to 20 plus years olds were sent to another land to participate in in another land in Korea, to participate in a war, right? And that's for the purpose of defending peace. So that 7,420 Filipino soldiers were sent there, and currently still the Korean people still remembers this gesture of our country when we participated in that encounter. So among the 7,420 soldiers, 114 heroes sacrificed their lives for peace on the peninsula. Now, you may think there's a little number, but this 114 heroes, they do it in the name of peace, in the name of having this harmonious world. Okay? Now, in 1950, there was a ceasefire, and the Philippines is one of the first Asian countries to recognize the Republic of Korea. However, still, the countries are separated, the North and South Korea. And that is why currently we are mobilizing the One Korea global movement, where we encourage people to join the movement for a peaceful reunification of North and South Korea. Now, what is the legacy of what happened in the past? Now, we can, here in the Philippines, we maximize this as a legacy because this history compels today's youth to continue the mission of solidarity. It means that we have the shared responsibility to really pursue a peaceful effort, contribute in the Korean reunification. So this is our legacy because of the previous effort we did in the past. And now, um, I also want to know from you guys why people-to-people connection matters. Okay, so if you can comment down in our comment box, I would really appreciate that. But from our context here in the Philippines, people-to-people connection is important because it's not about conference. It's not about just a piece of paper declaring that we support the Korean unification. Um it's not about letting them know that there's undivided country in Korean Peninsula. We explain to them face to face and engage with them and talk to them that this initiative, this effort is important because we are aiming for a global harmony and for the greater benefit of humanity. So we are not doing this on a self-interest. We are doing this on a collective goal of humanity, for the benefit of humanity. That is why it's important. Now, this is the three components that we are maximizing when we engage with people. First is empathy. We as human beings, we are empathic by nature. We feel the people's experiences. We feel the emotion of people. So, for example, what happened in Gaza right now, the children, the bomb, unwanted killings happened in different parts of the world. We feel, we feel the grief, we feel the anger, we feel the, the negative emotions. And in that sense, we can also maximize that in terms of pushing this Korean unification because in the future, do we want the same scenario happening right now to happen in the future? We don't, right? So that is why we are telling them that it's really important to push forward for a peaceful reunification or peace effort. And by that, we maximize actions by telling them the stories of families get separated, the number of people get died during that event, the efforts we did in order to have peace. So these are the things that we do in mobilizing this campaign. And by that, our impact is to take responsibility, take ownership of this mobilization as our personal advocacy, as one, as as a people living in this world. Because we have a shared responsibility to take care of one another. Now, in our context here in the Philippines, in our mobilization here, Filipino peace efforts offer meaningful lessons to support Korean unification. And let me tell you why. But first, let me introduce the One Korea Global campaign. And this is the global movement, international movement designed to foster global support. And that's what we're doing right now, conducting the seminars, conducting forums, events, and and other kinds of mobilization just to contribute for this Korean unification. And the previous speaker mentioned the Hongitingan, which literally means living for the greater benefit of humanity. And that is the Korean philosophy. So we are banking or we are using this is our motivation to push forward in our mobilization to contribute for the Korean unification. And the Hongitingan also resonates with the Filipino core values. The makajos, makatao, makalikasan, at makabansa. In English, makajos means God-loving or God-centered. Makatao means pro-people or respect for human dignity. Third is makalikasan, which means environmentally conscious. And fourth, makabansa, which means patriotic or nation-loving. This resonates with Pungitingan because I think that is the core values that we need in order to achieve a peaceful world. Now, in One Korea Global Campaign Philippines, in our mobilization, since 2022, we've already engaged more than 50,000 youth or young professionals in different kind of programs and platforms. And that is the Global Youth Summit, our community development engagements, and of course, our um, OKGC or One Korea Global Campaign seminars and forums and other kind of initiatives we mobilized here. And we also engage with uh, more than 1,000 NSTP implementers and educators. NSTP means National Service Training Program. It is a program that is required for the students in a higher level to take in order to proceed on a higher level. So in this is our entry point actually to introduce the One Korea Global campaign through the Peace Education module that we have here in the Global Peace Foundation. And aside from that, we've also engaged with 80 plus higher education institutions, and that is universities, local colleges, and private institutions. Now, let's talk about real world engagement models. And in terms of mobilization, we focus on these four core areas, which is awareness, engagement, advocacy, and impact. So as you can see, this huge yellow, this is the main, I think, pillar that we need to focus on is to provide awareness. And that is why we conduct seminars and events to our partner institutions. So we've conducted several Korean Dream lectures, different institutions already and universities already since 2022. And most of the students were um, really taking really appreciate the information they've got during the seminars. And of course, we also focus on engagement. That is why we conduct booth displays in university because repetition is important, right? In terms of advocacy, the more that the information for already is being heard repeatedly or being seen repeatedly, they were more likely to really participate in that campaign. That is why we conduct booth displays and in-person engagement with the students and the people who are engaging. Third is advocacy. Of course, since we have official partnerships with universities and other organizations, we ask official commitments with them through a declaration of solidarity, which the university presidents signed this declaration as and these presidents represent the whole institution, including the students and staff of the university. And our impact, the impact that we are the goal of this initiative or engagement is active participation from the people we're engaging with, and also to transfer the knowledge that they get and share it to other people who uh, whom we did not engage with. So that is our real world engagement models. Now, in One Korea Global Campaigns Philippines, this is the three main initiatives that we are doing since 2022. So we focus on symposiums and seminars, and that is the International Support for a Free and Unified Korea, where again, we partner with universities, local colleges, and schools and conduct seminars with their students, inform them about what's happening in North and South Korea and about the Korean dream that we are mobilizing. Second is the peace education workshop. As mentioned earlier, we have the peace education module in hand and that and we use that as our entry point. And in order to share the the content is of peace education. We train the educators regarding the content of the module. And in that sense, uh, the in, we mainstream and induce the One Korea global campaign or the Korean Dream. That is why it's very important for us to also conduct these trainings with them. And of course, now we are focusing our energy to this Korean Dream 10 million campaign, 10 million signature campaign, where if we achieve this 10 million signature campaign, this is a great manifestation that we truly support peaceful unification of North and South Korea. And not only that, it will bring a message not only in Korea but to the whole world that we aim at peaceful efforts, a global harmony in our world. Now, like I said earlier, we're focusing our energy in Korean Dream 10 million signature campaign. And what we have conducted recently is the One Korea 2025, Dream Unite, Reunite, where we partner with our official partners, universities, and conduct a program where there's an in-depth discussion about the Korean Dream, about the history, and about the benefits that we can gain if you really push this reunification. Recently, we've conducted One Korea 2025 at Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Pasig, where the leadership task force of Family Peace Association were there with us and engaged with them. So that's the leadership task force are representatives from different countries also. So they went there in person and engaged with the students. And recently, we also conducted the One Korea 2025 at Technological University of the Philippines, where more than 3,000 students participated in that event and learned about the Korean Dream that we are mobilizing. And currently, this is ongoing, the Korean Dream video and short film competition. For Korean Dream video, since we have partners in universities, we ask them to provide a promotional video about their strong support in the Korean reunification. And for the short film competition, of course, thanks to our executive director, Javier, this happens in partnership with the SM, where the result of this competition will be presented in the cinemas here in the Philippines, where more people will learn more about our goal or our mobilization of Korean Dream. And last but not the least, the Declaration of Solidarity for Peaceful Korean Unification. This is very essential in our part because we ask commitment from the organizations and universities here in the Philippines. And recently, the major organization who gave their commitment is the organization consists of women. 80% of women groups across the nation gave their support in terms of the Korean reunification. So that is a huge deal. A huge deal for this campaign. Now let's watch this video with our. Okay, just wait for a while. So let me share this video, guys, of our initiatives or our mobilization in the Philippines. Please watch.
Is advancing the One Korea Global campaign by promoting a 10 million signature drive to support the peaceful reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Since 2024, the campaign has engaged Filipino youth, especially university students across Metro Manila, emphasizing their vital role in advocating peace. Schools such as the University of Makati and Universidad de Manila have signed the One Korea Declaration. The initiative, inspired by the Philippines' historic support during the Korean War, has expanded beyond campuses, gaining support from women's organizations like the National Council of Women of the Philippines.
Yes, we can transform the world because we are this National Council of Women of the Philippines. This is a very powerful organization, and the women who are here will make it even more powerful.
Through partnerships, forums, and student-led activities, the movement underscores a shared commitment to peace and unity.
So that is our implementation here in the Philippines, and I hope we've encouraged you to also do the same in your own countries, collaborate with your institutions and organizations to mobilize the One Korea Global Campaign. So now, let's go back to why Filipinos should care about mobilizing this Korean dream. This is because of the three parts: shared prosperity, shared peace, and shared vision. So if we achieve the Korean unification in the Korean Peninsula, it will bring more trades and education as well as cultural exchanges. So there will be a lot of opportunities uh, to be take advantage when if the unification will be achieved. Next is shared peace. The Philippines is at the strategic area where many countries tried to occupy in the past. But given the strategic area, we're also in the area where we could contribute to more strengthened security in Southeast Asia or in Asia itself. So that is why um, we are encouraging our fellow Filipinos to really participate and join the movement. And lastly, because of our one family under God vision. So since we are a God-loving, a God-centered people in the Philippines, and of course, including you guys, we believe that this effort is a shared responsibility. So take note, a Korea at peace benefits the whole world because as well as the Philippines, Korea is also at the same as is one as well as in the strategic area where it could benefit other areas across the world. Okay? So before I end this, I know this is not my last presentation. So like I said earlier, a united Korea is not just a Korean dream, it is a global dream. So hopefully everyone is encouraged to participate and join the movement. So for our strategic pathways forward, we are very clear with our direction. First is to educate, create a dialogue, collaborate, advocate, and unite. So here in the context of Philippines, our road to a unified future is education integration. We already have this education module, and what we're trying to do is to integrate it in our higher education institution. And we also have transforming education program implemented here in the Philippines. And that is really important also to develop the character of the children to become more peaceful and to become a peace advocate. Next is cultural dialogue. This opportunity for cultural exchanges is very important for us to really know each other and to really participate in this movement with the right context and with the right narrative. And organizational partnerships, like I said earlier, we've recently partnered with a huge organization of women, and that is one of our efforts here. And of course, we're trying to maximize our online platform. That is why our moving forward is to push digital advocacy using the hashtag One Korea and Korean Team. Now, to end my presentation, I'm going to leave you the statement that people united in purpose can achieve what nations divided by politics cannot. So once again, everyone, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you've learned. You learned something or a little from my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jaymar. Actually, yes, we learned something from your presentation. Actually, your core value, Philippine core value, maka Dios, maka tao, maka kalikasan, maka bansa. Also, the same like Pancasila, our core values too, Indonesia core values. So, thank you so much for helping us explore the shared stories and future hopes that connect us all, and especially in the journey toward Korean unification. Thank you, Jaymar.
Thank you.
And to further explore this topic, please allow me to introduce our next speaker, Hussein Sengu, Country Director of Global Peace Foundation, Tanzania. Hussein Sengu is a human rights and public international lawyer from Tanzania. With expertise in peace building and conflict transformation, he has been working with local and international organizations administering peace projects and programs. Deputy Chief of Party for Public International Law and Policy Group Tanzania or PILPG, Search for Common Ground Tanzania or Zanzibar, Legal and Human Rights Center Tanzania. Hussein Sengu will tell us about community-based peace building in Africa and the role of youth and civil society in global solidarity. And now let's focus our mind and give him a very warm welcome. Hi, Hussein.
Hey, Cherry, thank you so much for having me here, and thank you very much for the coordinators and everybody who participated to make this possible. And I'm glad to be here. I feel like I'm home because, Africa and Asia, we have a very long and good history in terms of friendship, humanity, beliefs, and dignity. And it's one of a kind if you review back the background of Africa and Asia as compared to other continents. So I feel very warm, and thank you very much for the former speakers, my brother Isman and my brother Jaymar. But also, I'll be indebted if I'm not going to express my sincere gratitude to my lovely sister Shinitia for her good leadership in Indonesia. And I'm looking forward to have a series of these continue webinars. So thank you very much for having me here. I'd like, first of all, to do you have my presentation? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, allow me to discuss this word division. Division is one of the main reasons why do we have conflict, and why do we have wars, and why do we have misunderstanding. And had it not been divisions, I'm very much sure that the whole African continent would have been one until now. But because the history told us that in 1980s, the imperialists, most especially the Western colonies, sat in German Berlin and they discussed how are they going to divide the African continent. And this is the same history that our brothers and sisters in Asia we are sharing, that we were unified, and then later on, one of the imperialists, a group of imperialists, they decided that they should divide us for their own interests. And it has a lot of effect since then. I'm talking about 1980s, and we are still witnessing a lot of issues. And most of them, they're because of that division brought us into the West and East, the black and white, the haves and the have-nots, but also the developed and undeveloped. And most importantly, as you are witnessing today, we have the division of those who can own nuclear and those who are not supposed to own nuclear. So as a result, we are facing a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of conflicts, and a lot of challenging as we move forward to bring the world into one happily family and a better place to live. In Africa, those consequences of divisions has affected us a lot. And I would like to make this very clear before I start my presentations, that you have this picture of why unity is important and why do we have to go on preaching about one Korea unification, but to take that as a lesson, even in other continents and other countries. In Africa, until now, we have a lot of conflict because of divisions. You talk of Sudan and the North Sudan. These were the same brothers and sisters, but now they are into war just because they've been divided and they've been told that this is your enemy, which was not. They were blood brothers and now they're in war. You talk about Burundi and Rwanda. We all know that in 1994, we had a very bad history of the Hutu and the Tutsi, the same brothers and sisters. They were divided as a result of the colonial historical, and they're still into conflict. You talk about Congo, DRC, and the Congo Brazzaville. They were same brothers and sisters. I tell you that as we speak recently, it seems like it's hard and tough to bring them together into the table, despite the fact that they share blood, they share history, they share all what makes humankind. But now they cannot sit in the same table. You talk about the Western African countries. Imagine they've now been divided by the colonial language, like they're the Francophones and they're the Saxophones. All of these two languages, they're not from Africa. In Africa, we speak Swahili, vernaculars, and all kind of good ethnicity languages. But now you go in West Africa, especially, for example, I was one day I was blessed to go in Liberia, and I was also able to visit some part of the western part of it. I found out there are people who speak English and there are people who speak French, and they find themselves quite different. And they are from the same country, they are from the same root, they have a good back. And if you trace back their history, you see it, they're very much related. But because the colonial language was imposed into their countries, until now, it created a division. And that's why I wanted, before going direct into the presentation on the perspectives of Tanzania in the Korean unification, it is very important to see how deep and powerful the word unity and the unification is as we discuss this. And I believe we are all peacekeepers and peace builders. So I'm very much sure that as today, we'll start to view this powerful word in a different perspective. Can we start the first slide, please? Yes, so as I've said, forgive my manners first, I didn't even say good morning and good afternoon to everybody. So in Africa, Tanzania today, now it's 10 in the morning, and I'm sure Indonesia is in the afternoon. But regardless, our differences in time, but we are together, we are unified together here, talking about peace building, talking about unification, and talking about stopping divisions. So thank you for being here. And today we are going to explore, as from my former speakers, my brothers spoke very well, very eloquently. And we'll be exploring more on this topic, which sometimes has been seen distant, but it's very deeply connected to our own values as we are peacekeepers, mentioned earlier, our own peace and the unit objectivity, but also talking about the reunification of Korean Peninsula, which is the main topic today. My presentation will look at the thought in a unique Tanzanian lens, how we Tanzanian Global Peace Foundation, our partners and our developing partner, we are engaging on One Korea campaign, and our vital role that we are playing in engaging community, government, and other key stakeholders. And I tell you that we've been championing this for the past 8 to 9 years. So I'm glad that I'm going to share our journey on how our history between Tanzania and Korea has been parallel since 1960s. Because in 1960s is where most of the African countries got their independence. How we were very much supported friendly by the Korean government, but how we have shared on the learnings and the different perspectives in developing small countries. We'll also get a chance to discuss the moral imperative, like why we are African, we are Tanzania, and why should we engage in this? Like the two former speakers, they also bring out their perspective and the connections, significant, and the importance of our engagement in this campaign. We'll also have a chance to discuss a decade of dedications and how GPF Tanzania has been engaging methodologies and everything. Empowering the future youth, because that is one of our cornerstone. We believe that if we are able to preach to youth, to engage youth, and let them know that the importance of unity is more far than the importance of division, I'm sure the future will be brighter, because they'll be the ones who are protecting the unity rather than providing the divisions, and so on. So take me to the second slide, please. Yeah, so the Tanzania's relationship with the Korean Peninsula is one of its kind. It's very unique. And after independence in 1960s, our forefather, Mr. Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, came up with the Jamaa philosophy. Jamaa is socialism, which was found a common ground with the North Korea self-reliance. So in North Korea, they have a self-reliance, and then we transformed it because I mentioned earlier that we have learned a lot from Korea philosophy of leadership, especially in nurturing a young nation. And this led to significant early partnership between Mwalimu Nyerere, as you have seen the picture, and Kim Il-jung, the founder of Korean nation. But however, as the global dynamics changed, so did our relation also go and developed. And today, our partnership with South Korea is a cornerstone of our development strategy, as we are speaking now. And this is a dual history, gives Tanzania a balanced and nuanced perspective of the Korean question, that we really need to make sure that Korea is going back as one peninsula, as one beautiful nation. Second slide, please. Thank you very much. So why Tanzania? Because most of the people say Africa is a little bit far from Asia. Africa is a little bit far from Eastern. Then why? So as we speak in Dar es Salaam and Dodoma, these are our main cities, a lot is happening. And we care about Seoul and we care about Pyongyang, because the aspiration for unity is in our national DNA. Based on our history, based on our background, and our own union that we had in 1964, because Tanzania remained as the only country in Africa which we are able to formulate a union between two countries and maintain it until now. Because in 1960s, when most of the African countries got their independence, the main objectives was to unify the whole of Africa, to bring back the Africa which was sold back in 1880s. So our forefathers, especially those first presidents and who were frontline in the fighting for the independence in Africa, their main objective was to make sure that by any means we are going to have a United States of Africa. And we get a lot of support, especially from Asian countries and more especially from Korea. But it remains difficult as we are speaking now. Difficult, but we don't give up, because as I mentioned earlier, the importance of unifying a nation, unifying a continent, is far from the importance of dividing it. So Tanzania, which was referred as Tanganyika, was united by Zanzibar, and now we have a very unique and an example within the continent of why it is important to have a union. So we now call the United Republic of Tanzania. That means Tanganyika and Zanzibar got united. And through that union, we find a lot of issues in common that differences. And we are proud because we still preach and tell the world and tell the continent that this is possible. Union is very possible. And the fact that I've mentioned some of the countries which has been divided in Africa, like the Congo, Congo DRC and Congo Brazzaville, South Sudan and North Sudan, whatever the countries that I have mentioned earlier, we believe that if we go on pushing the agenda of unification, it is very likely that we are going to stop those conflicts. It is very possible that without a gun, we are going to make sure that those countries, they are going back into peace, because brothers and sisters will shake hands, sit together and work as partners and work together building their nations, instead of go on dividing their peoples and endless wars. And that means if we are able, and if we have witnessed the importance of uniting us as Africa, it is now very clear message to the world that whoever friends whom we think they also need to hear our voice, that they need also to continue working together and unify their nations and their country, we will be supporting them. And more especially Korea, of which we have a very good background and their support since we are gaining the independence. So our role as a continent peacemaker as Tanzania, and an example of a model unification between two countries, compels us to support peaceful resolutions globally. And that's why we are here in Tanzania for the past 10 years. Global Peace Foundation has been championing the One Korea dream. And we believe in the fundamental right of the Korean people to overcome divisions and forge a shared future is going to be a solution for what is happening now. And an example of the whole world that unity is power, division is worse. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you very much. So for the past decade, the Global Peace Foundation has been leading a civil society organizations in Tanzania dedicated to this cause. Sorry. Our work is not political, it is pure humanitarian. And it is based on the profound idea that the shared values and the heritage of the Korean people are stronger than the ideology. And that's the ideology that divides them. So we believe that by building consensus here in Tanzania, we also contribute to the global momentum of peace. So we've been engaging in different initiatives. We've been preaching in different avenue and platform, telling our people that what is happening in Korea, if we will be silenced today, the same might come and happen here, and no any friend can rescue us out of that. Next slide, please. Thank you. So our strategy is clear and focused. We invest in youth because we believe that we continue to build capacity to youth years and years, and this they'll be carrying it into their future nations. They'll be carrying it into their future plans, and they'll see it vividly that division is not matter, but what matters is unification. And we believe that these youth are the continent's greatest asset and the world's greatest hope. Because if we are, by educating and empowering them on the issues on Korea unification, we are not just talking about a distant land, but we are cultivating what we call a global citizenship, a leadership, and a deep-settled commitment to peace that will benefit our own nations, continent, and generations to come. So you look at the picture there. This is one of the lectures at universities. So we have peace club across the country in different primary and secondary education, but we have a series of dialogue to the universities where scholars, whom we believe that they're critical thinkers, they're the center of interest. They'll be the ones who even pushing the politicians. We all know that politicians are the ones who are making policies, implementing policies and everything. But if they don't have a push and a force from scholars, if the learning community is silent about these issues, international, global, but also in the local perspective, we must not expect any changes. So we believe that the scholars, students, and this peace club, if not today, but tomorrow, they'll be in a very good position to dictate the terms on how important unification is as compared to the divisions. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we don't just lecture. This we can assure you. What we do is we engage. Our Peace Bridges Forum, a very perfect example on how we use the popularity of Korean culture as a gateway to discuss the deeper issues of family separation and a dream of unity. So our campus debate challenges students to think critically and formulate a uniquely African perspectives on this global issue. And we have this quote say, think globally, but act locally. So the Peace Bridge and those forums that we are engaging, as I've mentioned, the university campuses, we have, for example, the Dar es Salaam Tumaini University, the Kampala University, Dr. Sarim Ahmed, etc. Our major partners of whom we, first of all, have commitment with them, like memorandum of understanding. And then we sit down and create a series of dialogue and interventions on how are we going to address these issues in terms of internal and external. So we are very much thankful to all these universities for accepting this. And I think it started to prove that these discussions, they are very important, especially in working up politicians, but as well as the community in general. Can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So we also tap into the incredible creativity of our own youth engagement through the Korean Unification Challenge. And it allows them to connect with the issues of emotional and the creativity, cruciality, but all our work is underpinned in the leadership and the character education. We teach that peace on the Korea Peninsula, like peace in our own community, African community, our own country, Tanzania. And it starts with individuals who are guided by strong moral principles. And that's why we have this we call peace clubs. And that's why we have across the secondary education, but also across universities. So having those group of youth, having those groups of scholars in the peace club, we pose a lot of challenging for them to start thinking, to go and dive deeper and what they think, the commonality that the Korean have and the commonality that we have. And while they think that it will be very important if our neighboring friends will be at peace or will not be at peace, and they will stay silent. So those are kind of challenges that we would like, and we are pushing scholars and the youth to see and to reflect on how important to go on and come up with initiatives that they are connected to the One Korean Dream campaign. Next slide, please. And as mentioned earlier, like our work does not just happen in a vacuum. It is designed to complement our government official foreign policy. So this is not just a Global Peace Foundation initiative as a sole organization, but what we are doing, we are pretty much complementing our government official foreign policy. And while the government engaged in a formal, what we call track 1 diplomas, Global Peace Foundation Tanzania is spearheading track 2. What my brother mentioned here earlier, people-to-people diplomas. So we build the social consensus and the public will that can support and sustain high-level political effort and its partnership for peace. So this is the second level now. Apart from engaging the scholars, the youth, the peace club, but we are also engaging now the policymakers and also the diplomats, including the Ministry of Home Affairs and International Affairs. So we have, for example, what we call the synergies of our national efforts and GPF law, including maintaining diplomatic relation with both North and South Korea, consistently supporting peaceful dialogue and the UN resolutions, but also operate at the office state-to-state level. Here's whereby the Global Peace Foundation, we do the track 2, but also complement the government effort by building public awareness and support, and so on and so on. Can you move to the next slide, please? Thank you so much. So the work of our last decade has laid a very strong foundation, I might say, but our journey is far from over. And I call upon you, peacekeepers here today, like this is just the beginning. We shouldn't stop. We should not surrender. This is just the beginning. Let's talk. Let's campaign. Let's do initiatives until we bring about the understanding and the unification between the two countries in Korea to be one country as in the beginning. So the work of the last decade has laid a strong foundation here in Tanzania, but our journey is far from over, and our goal is to expand these programs mentioned earlier, deepen into our partnership, and ensure that the thoughtful, compassionate voice of Tanzania is heard on the world stage, starting from Africa to the world, to the global stage, that peace is not a specter sport, but it requires all of us to stand tall. It requires all of us not to stay silent. And we as Tanzanian team, we still have a couple of strategies, and we'll continue making sure that we are airing the voice. We are committed, but we are also pushing our brothers in African countries, in African continent, making sure that we, as a continent, within the continent, we are preaching about unification, but we also preaching about the unification of our brothers in Asia and the world, and more especially One Korea campaign as an example. And if you read carefully the book from Chairman Moon, our Global Peace Foundation chairman, it is very clear that that book is not designed to preach about Korea only. But if you read, you'll see it's a very global perspective that the world needs to understand the importance of unification rather than division. So we as a Global Peace Foundation, to ensure that we have a greater plan to expand our reach, but also to deepen our partnerships, as we now look forward to work very closer with a couple of organizations from Korea that are working here in Tanzania, but also amplifying Tanzania voices from the non-government actors, non-state actors, investors, but also the state actors. But also to join this movement, ask them to join this movement, and we call upon everybody, especially now, like my brother here, call upon all of us to stand together wherever you are. See this as an important milestone to make towards the One Korea campaign. Can I move to the last slide, please? Yeah, so in conclusion, I would like to say that the Tanzania perspective on North Korea unification is rooted in our own history, as I've mentioned earlier, that our commitment to peace, our belief in youth and scholars in this One Korea campaign, And throughout the dedicated work of the Global Peace Foundation Tanzania that we have been committed together with our partner for the last decade, we are building a generation of Tanzanians who see a dream of one Korea, not as a foreign policy, but as an issue that is touching them, but also as a reflection of our most cherished universal values. And we have one Swahili word say umoja. Umoja means unit, and it's very powerful. And I'll leave you with that word. Umoja means unit. So unity is possible, and the PC is inevitable. And thank you very much for listening my very short presentation.
Okay, thank you, Hussein Sengu, for leading us such a meaningful presentation. And actually, now I know that from your presentation, I get to know what actually Tanzania is separated before from Tanganyika and Zanzibar. Now that was united in Tanzania. And also from your conclusion, I really love your conclusion about unity is possible and peace is inevitable. Thank you very much, Hussein Sengu. And we are very inspired to carry this insight forward in promoting unity, not only across Africa, but also in support for. We will continue our discussion with a Q&A session. So, if you're still curious about something about Tanzania stories or Philippine stories and one Korean Indonesia stories, you can feel free to raise your hand or write your question in the chat box and I will read it for you. Okay. Maybe I can read the comments from our chat before. It was from Asep Rohim that he said unity in diversity. Yes, we agree about that. And people connection means friendship. People of different nationalities say thank you. That's all for now, and thank you for your talk. Maybe you can raise your hand and we can share some questions here. Yeah, just like how Sally said, please don't forget to sign our support for the reunification, Korean reunification between North and South Korea. Anyone who want to ask a question, you can raise your hand. Okay, maybe I want to ask some questions to Hussein Sengu about Tanzania core value, because before I have heard from Kak Isman and Jaimar about Indonesian core value Pancasila and Jaimar Philippines core value that said maka Dios, maka tahu, maka kalikasan, et maka bangsa. So I want to ask, is in Tanzania have any core values that focus on unity or something like Pancasila or like Philippines core value?
Thanks so much, Sharon. If I heard you correctly, you're asking if we have any like a motto that we are using in this campaign. Is that correct? Sharon? Hello, Sharon?
Yes, I think
Isman, yes. So was she asking that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She asked about the
Yeah.
philosophical values in Tanzania.
Yeah, okay, philosophical values in Tanzania. Yeah, okay, so Tanzania, we believe in socialism, that humanity is one, and we believe in human and the dignity, that every mankind must be treated equally, regardless their race, regardless their background, regardless their whatever background that they have, as long as they're human. And that's why in Tanzania is one of its kind country that you can find. We have Asian and non-Asian citizens here in Tanzania. The population made up of like 80% of Indian, more than 12% of Arab by nature, and we have different kind of races from all over the world, and they live peacefully as a continent, as a citizen of a nation. Yes, Sharon, did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's answer my question about the core values from Tanzania perspective. Thank you so much, Hussein. And now, earlier I see someone who is raising their hand. Maybe you can raise your hand again. Okay, maybe because oh yeah, to everyone who is asking a question, you can get 3 gifts from us. Actually, from the participant from Indonesia, because we are going to send our present to Indonesian participant. Yeah, there is Gibri Gezia Bir Tadil. You can unmute yourself. Hi, Tadil. Hi, Tadil. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes.
hello.
Thank you much for the great opportunity. My name is Javier Tadele from Ethiopia. Thank you so much again. I have one question regarding to this topic. Korea unification means is that to come one country, the northern and the southern Korea. So what does this mean? Because according to the United Nations Charter, they are both the North Korea and South Korea, both they are independent countries. So by this moment, how can come to unify? I think this Korea, they have the same culture, the same language, the same identity. I think, yeah. That is one important thing to unify. But ideologically, politically, they are different. Ideologically, in political item, and they are also the politically also the charter, the United Nations Charter. How can from peace between these countries is one of the important things. How to come to the peace. That is a great one. So maybe that is my question. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Tadil, for your question. Maybe we can start from Jamar. Do you want to answer the question first?
Oh, hello, hi. So in terms of, I mean, the question is revolving around the difference. I mean, the similarity of the North and South, but at the same time, the difference because they're one nation apart, right? I mean, one individual nation according to the United Nations. In our perspective and based from history, the Korean Peninsula was already united before and just got separated because of war. So to answer the question, them being a separate nation, the North and South, is actually in compliance in terms of political terms, right? But we as the people who really knows the truth that this is a United Nations before, we have the shared responsibility as a peace advocates to promote the unification of this country and to create a model that if there's this one United Nation who is in conflict and gets separated, if we can create a nation that can be united peacefully, it will create a role model to other nations across the world. So that is the main purpose and main point of our mobilization. That is why we are pushing this mobilization, is to create a model not only for Korea but for the whole world. And I believe as a human being, like I've mentioned earlier, as one of the human beings living in this world, it is our shared responsibility to decide what we want, and that future should be a peaceful one, where everyone can smile, where everyone is happy with their families, united with their families, can talk with their friends, engage with their friends without the fear of conflict, war, and other things. So I think from my point of view, that's my answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Jamar, for your answer about how in the Korean reunification, how important it is to Korea and Philippines too. And now I want to, oh yeah, there are Thomas Kangungu. Kangungu. Do you want to?
Sorry, Sherin,
Yeah,
if I may add a little bit from Jay's good response.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother from Ethiopia, Salamna, for that very, very great question. First of all, we must understand that laws, treaties, regulations, and all those papers are man-made, but humanity is not. And between the two borders, they are blood-related people, brothers and sisters. Between the two borders, people has been separated from their own history, from their own background, from their own people. So these laws and regulations are nothing. And these laws and regulations are the ones that has been divided Africa. So we have some treaties that has been made by the colonial and imperialists since 1980s. They are still used and they're still applicable in most of the colonized countries. You see, why? But in the end, you see, they are not functional. And they are the ones who are contributing to the chaotic situations, and they are the ones that they are not bringing people into peace. And if you heard me very well in my presentation, I insisted that division is weakness, but unity is power. So our people in Korea, they are now in a weak state. Is until when they unite, they can be a very powerful nations, a very happy nations. As Jaymar say that we want people to live the way how they feel that they are free and they are safe in this world. And taking into consideration the case of Tanzania and Zanzibar, we were able to unite, regardless they were two different countries. There are a lot of, you can have different types of government. Like in the United States, it's a federal state. So in each state, they have their law, their regulations, and everything. But in the end, the universal movement of the people, the real life of the people is freely. I'll be able to visit my sister Chirin wherever I want and whatever circumstance that it is. I'll be able to have discussions and discuss with my brother Isman how we want to live peacefully in our community, regardless what type of government it is. So let us not see that it is difficult because this is already an independent government and this one is already independent government. But in the end, how can we move those regulations and remain as human by nature and see what is important in our prosperity? Thank you very much.
Yes, actually, that's really inspire us because yeah, how we unite things, it helps the society to build a stronger families. Just like how Tanzania happens in Tanzania, right? Thank you, Hussein, for your stories and answer. Now we have Thomas Kangongo who wants to ask question because he raised his hands. Hi, Thomas. Can you unmute yourself and open your camera, please, so we can see your face? Yes, there you go, Thomas. Hello, Thomas.
Ayo. Yes, I'm having a question. Basically for our colleagues in Indonesia, what is the most significant challenge to Korean unification? What is the most significant challenge to Korean unification on the context of Indonesia?
Okay, I will let Kak Isman to answer Thomas' answer a question about what is the significant challenge to Korean reunification, especially in Indonesia. Hi, Kak Isman.
Yes.
Hello. Thank you, Thomas, for the good question. So I will answer based on perspective as a Indonesian people. So I will start from the challenge from Korean Peninsula itself. So as far as we know, the both Korean government already try many approach to to make the Korean reunification become reality. First, from the Korean War approach that we know that failed to unite the country, and also the economic aspect. If you know about the sunshine policy, that economic approach from South Korean government already tried, but it's failed, and that's that's actually the biggest challenge that we face today, because the government approach actually cannot works right now. So the opportunity is people to people approach. And Indonesia have privilege because we have both diplomatical relation with North Korea and also South Korea. And it's also become our challenge, because how we can maintain this good relation between North and South Korea. And also Indonesia right now have a non-block approach for building relation with other country. So the biggest challenge is government actually. If I'm not trying to blame government, but the government is right now somehow have blocked to the people to people approach. But we at the same time we have opportunity with this platform, this community, One Korea campaign in Tanzania and also in Philippines. This is our opportunity to uh, to show to the other people, especially in Korea, that other country, especially people movement in Indonesia, Tanzania, care about this Korean reunification. So this is also our opportunity to lead the campaign, to lead the movement, and let Korean people decide how they can reunite uh, other than government approach. That's my answer. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Kak Isman, for your answer about the challenge to Korean reunification campaign in Indonesia, especially. And yes, I know that the government is a challenge, and we know that we have some opportunity from the Indonesian citizen that have interest on this campaign. Now, before I let Chichi Fitri to ask the question, maybe I will read the question from the chat box. From Abdul Qayyum from Unhas Indonesia. In what ways do people-to-people connection differ from government to government relationship, and why they be more effective in promoting long-term peace and understanding? Maybe I will let Jaimar and Isman and Hussein who wants to answer this question. From Jaymar or Isman? Okay, I will let Jaymar to answer this question from Abdul Qayyum. Oh, you can.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so that's a wonderful question. So the difference between people to people versus government to government resolution is that when we engage with people, they are more informed about the initiative, about the campaign. We've tried many times the top-down approach where the government create papers, do policies, but at the end of the day, the implementation is not really that impactful. We believe that people by nature is a law-abiding citizens, but there's a struggle in terms of um, implementation, wherein in people-to-people engagement, the connection building between the people and us who organize this campaign or this movement is essential in order to push forward and and to encourage our government that this is a collective effort. This is the collective voice of everyone that we need to do this. Not only just the higher ups saying that we need to do this. So in this manner, we have a more justification why we need to push forward for this campaign. So again, that's my answer. I hope that actually, that's okay. That's thank you.
This actually answer the question, and yeah, maybe we share the same stories because it happens to Indonesia to Jaymar. Yeah. So thank you for your answer. Maybe Isman or Hussein want to add the answer for this question from Abdul, or we can okay.
Yeah, I think what Jema say it's very typical that if you are engaging people, you're engaging the community, and the whole power is vested to the people. So they are the ones who are the foundations of the policy making and the reflections of the what the nations and what the continents want. So as compared to the government, they're just policymakers and law enforcers. So everything that if you want anything to be sustainable, you need first to have a buy-in of the people. So people to people is the most important approaches compared to the government to government. And yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the policymakers are important in our campaigns too because it helps us to continue or stops making our campaign to us to do the campaign. Thank you, Hussein, for the answer. Now, after we read our question from the chat box, I will continue from the one who raised his or her hand, Cici Fitri. Hi, Cici Fitri. Can you unmute yourself? And we want to see your face actually, Cici Fitri. Oh, okay. You can unmute yourself. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Before that, I'm so really sorry because I have a problem in my laptop, so I can open my file. It's no problem. Okay. Today I want to focus on one Korean community. I'm so really interested. It's so really amazing about this community. So I have a question. Like, the first question is, are in community is free? And secondly, do I have the opportunity to become a part of the One Korean community? If so, as a university student with a deep interest in Korean culture and education, how can I actively contribute to support the community's visions and development? Exactly the first thing. That's my question.
Okay, thank you, Cici Fitri, for your question.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is Cici Fitri coming from Indonesia? Hi, Cici Fitri. Are you coming from Indonesia?
Yes, I'm from
Okay,
Indonesia.
maybe I can let Kak Isman to answer this question because it will be related to you. So the first
Okay, thank you.
question is the community are free and how to participate in this community and how to contribute more in this community.
Hello, Cici. Thank you for your question and also for your interest to join our One Korea ID movement. Actually, we start from 2017, and right now we have a platform in Instagram. You can easily reach and follow at One Korea ID. We have an online campaign, and also we have a campaign in public areas such as Jakarta in Car Free Day Jakarta in January in this year. And is it free? Yes, it's actually free and very inclusive. We want to have a diverse background from we have from educators and also from peace builders like us, and we hope that many people can join this movement, such as musicians, maybe filmmakers, and others people from diverse background. So you can join and follow through Instagram. We will update our activity and our program there. And also you can actually participate in your respective area, not only in Jakarta. You can join by sign the petition, our online signature campaign, then later we will share how to participate. And also not only in Indonesia, but also in Tanzania, in Philippines, they have own platform to give your opportunity to involve in this Korean reunification issue. I think that's my answer. I hope answer your question.
Thank you, Kak Ismail, for your answer to Cici question about the contribution that we can do in Indonesia. And actually, I can't wait to see Cici participating in our campaign in CFD or any other sign petition or any other campaign that Indonesia do for One Korea campaign. Thank you, Cici, for the question. Now, I will continue to the chat box. We have Roderick from Lido, Philippines. He asks, this question is addressed to Sir Jaymar of the Philippines. In the far south region of the Philippines, especially in Mindanao, how can we become partners in the promotion of the One Korea campaign and align this to our local youth development plans, considering the geographical location of our region? So, Jaymar, we will let you to answer this question.
Okay. Thank you so much, Roderick from Mindanao. And I'm so happy that someone from my area where I born asked the question. So in terms of partnership in One Korea Global campaign, as we do it in official partnership, so memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding with your local government unit, and to align this with the local youth development plan, I believe that there's a nine center of participation um, in the local youth development plan, and one of the nine center of youth participation is the peace and security. In that manner, we can align the campaign, which is the One Korea Global campaign, in a frame that it is a peace advocacy effort. So in that sense, we can mobilize and you can conduct training seminars supported by us, One Korea Global Campaign Philippines and the Global Peace Foundation. And we will help you also to provide necessary information as well as resource person to conduct the seminars if if it's needed. So in terms of um, geopolitical or what's the ano, again the position, I believe that Philippines as a whole is a very strategic place where our efforts is very meaningful and contributory to this collective effort in the campaign. So whether you are in the far-flung area or in the southern part of the Philippines, your participation in this movement brings a very, very strong message that we as a Philippines strongly support the Korean reunification. So I think that's my answer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, JMR. Actually, we have so much participant who is really interested on our campaign from Thomas Padel that came from Tanzania, and we have Cici Fitri from Indonesia who is interested on Indonesia campaign, and now we have Roderick who is really interested on our campaign. That really inspire me to join these campaigns. To thank you everyone who is interested on our campaign. Now, I will read our question from Lavenia Ariesta. This question is for Mr. Hussein. In your opinion, what are the biggest challenges in Korean reunification effort that may be less understood by the international community, including in Southeast Asia? Hi, Mr. Hussein Sengu.
Yes, thank you so much. So there are a couple of challenges globally. The first challenge is lack of geographical knowledge. I have a good example. Like most of the people, they think, for example, Africa is a country. So Africa is a continent, the same as what they think in Asia, and they are not pretty much aware on that North Korea and Korea. I mean, South Korea and North Korea. They are coming from which part of the continent in Asia, and they are of which part of hemisphere. So that is one of the main challenge. I think most of the people there. Then the second challenge is generalization. You know, if you say Korea, everybody's generalizing it, is associating it with nuclear power, with military power, with everything. And most of the people, they are not aware, like in Korea, there is life, people they are living, you see. There are other social development, cultural, and norms going on there. So whatever comes into their mind is like, okay, we have a nuclear bomb, we have everything. They are not differentiating between the two divided countries. And third and last, I think is misconception. So there's a lot of misconceptions about what is happening there. And the people, they don't have a really true story of what has been happening when it was one Korea, and then what happened when there is division, when the division happened, and what is happening now as we are speaking. So they are like in the bloom, and they don't give a clue. What they have is the Western media embodiment. Like the Western media is telling them blah 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 blah, and they totally take it as it is without doing a research. So I think with these three challenges, the geographical misconception, but also the knowledge of what is happening in Korea. And I argue to most of the people to really understand those three backgrounds first before even engaging in this issue. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Hussein. That's actually really relates to Indonesia because, yeah, the media holds a very strong contribution on how people think about what happened on other country or other place or other, yeah, area. So yeah, that's really relate with our Indonesia or maybe Philippines situation. Thank you, Hussein. Now I will read the next question from Muhammad Kintara Baru. He asks, what is business relation between South Korea and Indonesia, economic cooperation and cultural exchange, equal of cultures that doesn't touch it, and take picture by stranger. Maybe we can ask about cultural exchange from South Korea and Indonesia relationship from Kak Isman.
Okay, thank you for the question from Muhammad Kintara.
Hmm.
So I'll try to answer based on my knowledge because I'm more on people-to-people relation. As far as I know, Indonesia and Korea have a close economic partnership, especially with the electrical vehicle like car. Right now, we have a good opportunity to strengthen the relation with our electrical vehicle, like some of many Korean brand like KII and also Hyundai. They start to dominate our electrical vehicle in Indonesia. And also from Indonesia perspective too, we have a, a large K-pop fandom in Indonesia. So many Korean group band and also Korean artists come, and they actually impact on our economic relation with Korea. That's two opportunity also give our privilege and opportunity to lead this Korean reunification campaign, not only in economic way, but bring more opportunity like maybe cultural exchange and also people to people platform to meet, not only to talk but also to taking action in strengthen relation. So I think that's as far as I know, economic relation between Indonesia and Korea.
Yeah, actually, your answer and this question reminds me of our story from our campaign in CFD in Jakarta that we bring Korean citizen and we share stories from that campaign and people get interested on our campaign there. Thank you, Kak Isman, for your answer for this question. Now we have Anissa Firja Early from UNJ. I hope this is from Yogyakarta, Indonesia, if I'm right. She asks, I would like to ask a question to Isman Habibillah. Indonesia has no major internal conflicts that force us to be hostile towards our one another in terms of unity. We are relatively stable, but in Korea, there are historical and political issues with different ideologies on each side. What are your thoughts on how peace can be built in such a context, especially considering that in North Korea, access to information seems heavily restricted and their concept of justice appears to differ significantly from global norms? Okay, I will like Kak Isman to answer this question from Anissa Firja.
Okay, hi Anissa, thank you for your question. This question reminds me how we try to approach as a Indonesia people and also government to be more active in Korean Peninsula issue. So back then in 2018, if we are remember, we host Asian Games held in Jakarta. Anyone remember? And one of, I think, biggest milestone for Indonesia government and also our people is we have North and South Korea march together under a unified flag. Maybe you can Google the Korean Peninsula march in Asian Games 2018 in Jakarta. That's also one of we can try in the near future or in the future, because this approach like through sports, through culture, it's effective to show that we're actually one family, regardless our nation, Indonesia, Korea. But if we're talking about people to people, we can touch their heart, and they actually can together, like we show in Asian Games 2018 back then in Jakarta. And Indonesia actually have nothing to lose, I think, because we have relation with the North and South Korean diplomacy. So we can try many way to reunite them, not only in government level, but also in kind of people-to-people activities such as sports that actually effective to reunite them, to make them feel that actually they are from one Korea, no, not North or South Korea, but they actually one family that need to reunite soon, and we hope we can achieve that our dreams. So thank you for the question.
Yeah, actually, that moment from Asian Games that's really bring me up to tears because it's really inspired me that turns out Korea have that value of unity, and I hope that really impacts the others to inspire the others to support this campaign, to unite Korea, North Korea and South Korea. Thank you, Kak Isman, for the answer. Now we have the last question from Felipe Jimenez. He asks, I'm Philip from University of Surabaya. My question addressed to Isman. In what ways has the Global Peace Foundation engagement in Indonesia advanced peace building efforts through interfaith collaboration and youth development? And how do these initiatives align with national and regional strategies for social harmony?
Okay, that's a good question. Actually, Indonesia is the biggest Muslim country, but at the same time, we live with the other 5 religions in Indonesia, and until now, we can still maintain peace in Indonesia, not only from different religion, but also if we're talking about interfaith, we also embrace different culture and nation. So that's our modality in Indonesia from people and also government. We ever had North Korean defector and also South Korea to visit Indonesia back then in January 2025. We bring them to Istiqlal Mosque and Cathedral Church that time, and they feel that in Indonesia, regardless we have different religion background, but they can unite actually. That reflection from North Korean defector and South Korean delegates makes us that actually this is our strength in Indonesia to approach how peace can achieve in Korean Peninsula. So through this Indonesian interfaith and also peace in Indonesia, we can try to promote not only in Korean Peninsula but also globally. So I hope that Indonesian participant who join this webinar can aware that one of our strength that also recognized by other people, in this case from North and South Korean people, is actually our interfaith and peace in Indonesia, regardless our religion, culture, and background.
Yeah, that's actually inspire us because from different backgrounds we support Korea in Jakarta, and I hope in Indonesia we inspire Indonesia and Africa, Tanzania, and Philippines to contribute too, even though we have some different backgrounds or different any other things that we have. Okay, thank you, Kaisman, for your answer for Philip question. We have since we have the time we have is no we have no left time. We can wrap up our Q&A session, and I think I want to read Sally Crimson comments about our webinar that the people to people approach has been highly effective for gathering initial support through signatures. Once we reach a critical mass of signatures, we are well positioned to escalate these to policymakers and advocates for formal recognition and prioritization of our cause. Thank you, Sally, for your thoughtful insights about people-to-people approach for this campaign. So that wraps up our Q&A session. Now I will hand it back to our MC to continue our program. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Cece, for guiding, for moderations. It's really, really nice. And I also give my thank to all the esteemed speakers who already share their value and also their knowledge about the perspective on how to build a peace in Korean Peninsula. Perspective from Indonesia, Philippines, and also the Tanzania. And this discussion is not only for I think this discussion is not only for the peace in North Korean Peninsula, but also for all over the world. Because today we see how the escalation happened in the Middle East and another region, and we hope the peace can be achieved to all the countries in the world, and peace should be achieved for a better world. As the Hussein said, that unity is possible, peace is inevitable. And thank you again to the moderators and also the speakers who already share their experiences to build peace in their region, in their country. And to all participants, please don't leave the room because we will share the link and present for the certificates later. So please don't leave this room before we share the link for the certificate. And ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached an important part of our program, the recognition of our moderators and speakers. It is my pleasure to present certificates of appreciation to our moderator. First to Cherin Angelica. And thank you, Cherin, for leading the session so well. Thank you, operator. And the next esteemed speakers who shared their values insight with us today. Here we provide certificate symbolism for Isman Habibillah. And thank you for sharing your knowledge to all the participants and also already share the Indonesian values for the peace in the Korean Peninsula. Thank you. Here we provide certificate symbolism for Javier. And thank you. We appreciate your inspiring words and how to build a peace in Korean Peninsula from the Philippines perspective. And also the last one, we provide certificate symbolism for Hussein Sengu. And thank you for your valuable insight. And it's really memorable quotation. Unity is possible, peace is inevitable. And thank you to all our moderator and also the speakers for your contributions and for inspiring us to work toward a culture of peace. Now we would like to capture this moment with a virtual group photo. And to all the participants, please turn your camera on and make sure you should smile during the photo session. Okay, I will count 1, 2, 3. Smile. Another style. 1, 2, 3. Again. The last one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, everyone. Your participation today has made this event truly special. And moving on to a no less significant part of our agenda, we will now proceed with the signing of the One Dream, One Korea petition. All participants, including our moderators, speakers, and all honor guests, are cordially invited to take part in this important act of support for Korean reunification. To sign the petition, please access the following link that we will send through the comment section. And we will give you 5 minutes to access the link and sign your petition to support the peace in the Korean Peninsula. And the present link will be sent at the last of this session. So please stay in this room. This link is only for signing the petition for the Korean Peninsula reunification. And the link for presents will be sent at the last of this session. We will give you only 5 minutes to sign this petition. Okay, the attendance list the attendance link will be sent at the last of the session. So please stay on the room, and we will send it later to you. And the certificate will be also sent by the link that we sent to the comment section. Okay, thank you everyone for signing the petition for the reunification in Korean Peninsula. And thank you for the participants who already participated in this campaign. And now the moment we've been waiting for. We've thrilled to announce the 3 best questions of today's event. And I will please give a warm welcome, applause to the best 3 question from the first one as Cici Fitri. The second one is Lavenia Ariesta. And the last one is Anissa Firza Erli. I will say that again. I will repeat it again. The first one is Cici Fitri. The second one is Lavenia Ariesta. And the last one is Anissa Firza Erli. And to all the selected participants, please chat to our Instagram at GPF Indonesia to send your detailed information. So we will send the gift to your address soon. And thank you for checking apart and share such thoughtful question throughout the session. And for sure, your curiosity and engagement truly brought this conversation to life. And best question will receive the prizes, and our team will be reaching you out shortly with details on how to claim your prize. And once again, thank you and congratulations. And dear participants, the feedback form is now opened and will only be accessible during this Zoom meeting. And please take a moment to complete it before the session the session ends. Kindly note that the e-certificate will only be sent to those who complete the feedback form. And also, please promptly check your email after submitting the form. And lastly, we'd like to inform you that we will not be responding again. We will not be responding to any messages or emails regarding this event after it ends. So please make sure to complete everything now. You will have 10 minutes to complete the form. Please scan the QR code and check the chat for the link to the feedback form. And the certificate will also be sent to your email through this link. And I will translate this to Indonesia. Kepada seluruh peserta, feedback form hanya dapat diakses selama webinar ini berlangsung. Kita hanya memberikan waktu 10 menit, jadi mohon luangkan waktu teman-teman Anda semua untuk mengisinya sebelum sesi berakhir. Karena sertifikat elektronik hanya akan kita kirimkan kepada peserta yang sudah mengirimkan atau mengisi feedback form yang kita kirimkan lewat link tersebut. Dan setelah mengisi, tolong diperiksa kembali email Anda. Jika nanti tidak menerima email berisi sertifikat, maka bisa langsung berkomunikasi lewat Zoom meeting ini. Dan kami juga menginformasikan bahwa kami tidak akan menanggapi semua pesan atau email terkait acara ini, khususnya untuk permintaan sertifikat setelah acara berakhir. Jadi mohon dimaksimalkan selama sesi Zoom ini sedang berlangsung. Dan Anda hanya memiliki waktu 10 menit, you only have 10 minutes to fill the form. Dan silahkan pindai QR code dan cek link yang sudah dibagikan di layar Anda. Dan pastikan menulis email dengan benar and please make sure you type your email correctly. Dan setelah mengisi feedback form, Anda dipersilakan untuk meninggalkan ruang Zoom ini. Again, I will remind to all the participants, please type your email correctly because this will impact to the email, I mean the certificate that we will send to your email. So just type or scan the QR code or check the link on the message box.
Only one presenter will share. Bilangin begitu pakai tutup dia.
Well, everyone, we will give you 10 minutes until 3:35 p.m. Indonesian time. And please make sure you scan the QR code or click the link that we sent to the chat box to fill your attendance list and also the certificate that we will send to your email. And please make sure you type your email correctly because this will impact to your certificate. And we will only respond all the, sorry.